One thing that I'm actually grateful that having a chronic illness has deeply taught me is that my worth is not derived from my achievement. And it's something that I think everyone should wake up to the fact that you're completely worthy just for existing. My name's 𝔼𝕟𝕠𝕦𝕙 and I'm the Healing Fairy, and today let's heal your relationship with achievement and worth. So let's start with some backstory. I used to be an overachiever, completely type A personality. When I was in high school, I was in all AP classes and honors classes, and I would do play rehearsals after school. And then in college, I was going to school full time, I was working full time, I was studying all the time so that I could keep good grades and have a good GPA. And at work, I was always constantly trying to strive to get promotions. Fun fact, my first job was as a cashier at 𝔼𝕟𝕙, and I got promoted to trainer in the least time possible and then to zone leader soon after that. Then I worked at a call center for AmeriGas Propane doing customer service. They promoted me to the AmeriGas vending action team, which is essentially tech support for the propane vending machines that we had. I say we as if I still work there. Constantly hustling, constantly striving to do the best in all areas of my life. Really freaking burning myself out because I was also suffering with health issues. I have fibromyalgia, but I was not diagnosed until I was 23 years old after graduating college in the 4 years that I graduated in. Plus, fun fact, I have ADHD that also wasn't diagnosed until I was 23, so I was not medicated for it or anything. But I always felt like if I wasn't doing the absolute best, that I wasn't worthy, that there was no point in what I was doing, that like if I wasn't doing the best at everything, that I was a failure. If I wasn't giving 110%, I wasn't an admirable person, that I wasn't worthy. It was an unattractive quality if I wasn't always putting 110% in. And I would always look down on others who just did an average job and kind of judge them for not utilizing their full potential and going above and beyond like I was always striving to be, which is ridiculous now. I've completely changed my mindset about that. But in college, I busted ass and I worked myself to the bone so that I could graduate in 4 years and then start my career and start climbing the ladder there and be in this non-stop endless loop of trying to achieve and achieve and achieve the next best thing. And graduated and I got a job as an environmental scientist working for the state of California. I would volunteer for extra work assignments and became the programmatic project lead of one of our programs, which was beyond my pay grade. And that was all fine and dandy, living my life this way, deriving my worth from my achievements, until 2019 happened and I got very ill. Around the end of 2019, I had the worst fibromyalgia flare-up of my life. If you don't know what fibromyalgia is, in short, chronic illness that causes widespread pain throughout the body, chronic fatigue, brain fog, muscle aches. It kind of makes you feel like you have the flu a lot of the time. You just feel weak and tired. There's nothing technically physically wrong with your body because it's a nervous system issue, that your nerves are firing in a way that it makes your body feel like you're in pain or you're sick when you're actually not. So I had this terrible flare-up at the end of 2019 where one of the main issues was the joint pain in my left foot got so severe that I couldn't walk. The day that I got the worst, I had to crawl just to get to the bathroom and like pull myself and drag myself up onto the toilet. So my friend had to drag me to a doctor, and that's when I finally got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had to use crutches for a while and I had to walk in a boot brace for a few months until my foot stopped hurting. But beyond that, I had severe chronic fatigue, severe brain fog to the point where I couldn't really comprehend my work. At work, I would read the words on the page and it was like if it was a foreign language. Like my brain just couldn't process what the English meant. And it was a really scary time in my life. I'm so beyond grateful that my supervisor and my coworkers, everyone who was around me, understood what was going on and was empathetic. So grateful that my supervisor was understanding and they let me work from home whenever I needed to. So I was in the office like half the time and working from home half the time. And this was before the pandemic, when working from home was not really much of a thing in my office. I would have to give some of my workload to my coworkers for them to help me even just achieve my job. Like I could do the basic tasks, but anything more complicated would have to go to somebody else. Yet I kept my job. I was not fired. I was paid the same. So beyond grateful for that. And it took me many months to overcome this fibromyalgia flare-up. It was hard enough to even keep my basic daily life afloat. Like doing the bare minimum was excruciatingly difficult because I had such limited energy in a day. I was in pain all the time. I could barely walk. Such bad brain fog and felt like I had the flu for months. I couldn't go above and beyond anymore. In fact, I couldn't even do the bare minimum. I had to do like just below the bare minimum in order to survive, take care of my house and provide food for myself. It was all very difficult. So I wasn't accomplishing anything. I wasn't making progress on any of my goals. I felt like a failure because my body wasn't letting me achieve the things that I wanted to achieve, whether it was at work or in my personal life, any kind of goals that I had for myself. I just couldn't do it. My body just needed to spend a lot of time lying down and resting. But even when I was resting, it felt like I couldn't fully let go and rest. Because in my mind, I kept thinking about how I wish that I was being productive. I wish that I was doing something else. And so even though my body was forcing me to rest, I still wasn't truly resting. And so eventually I learned that it's okay. I don't have to beat myself up or feel like a worthless waste of space because I'm not accomplishing anything, because physically I could not. I had to surrender and accept my life for exactly as it was. And I learned that simply by existing, I have worth and value. I got to learn that at such a deep level that truly, just by existing, we all have worth and value. We don't have to achieve things in order to be worthy of love or worthy of praise or to be attractive in society's eyes, whether that's attractive romantically or even just as a friend, as a person, as a coworker. I feel like attractive has a weird connotation to it, but just as like an admirable person. You don't need to be constantly achieving. You can just exist for months and months and months. Life can go on and you can simply be doing the bare minimum and existing, and you are worthy. After all, think about it. When a baby is born, it doesn't have to do anything to be worthy of love or to be taken care of. It's worthy simply by existing. And that doesn't go away when you get older. You truly are worthy just by existing. And so I'm grateful that I learned this lesson, because since learning it, I feel like my life has changed so much. I'm no longer a type A personality. My health has gotten a lot better, but it's not perfect by any means. And so I still have to remind myself of this sometimes and recognize that I'm allowed to slow down and achieve things in a slow manner, because that's just what my body calls for. That's what my body needs. And in order to love my body, I need to accept that part of it and accept that that's its limitation. I don't need to be achieving things to be worthy, that I can feel fulfilled in life, even while doing the bare minimum, romanticizing the daily tasks that go into just existing without going above and beyond. And so it has not been an easy lesson by any means, but I'm so grateful for it, because I watch so many people in society these days burning themselves out by constantly needing to achieve more and more, going above and beyond at work, going above and beyond in their personal goals and endeavors, pushing to the point of exhaustion and burnout, because subconsciously they feel like if they're not overachieving, then they have no value. And as soon as they recover from that burnout, they keep pushing pedal to the metal, burn themselves out again in this constant cycle. So many people have this mindset of, when I get over there, then I'll be worthy, then I'll be content with my life. But the problem with this mindset is it's a never-ending rat race, toxic loop that you'll never win. You'll never be happy, because the thrill of achieving your goal is soon replaced with a new one. Accomplishments are temporary, and so this isn't a sustainable way to find worth in your life. You're constantly going to be striving for that next goal, that next accomplishment. Worth and achievement and thrill of accomplishing your last one fades so quickly. In a couple days, a week, maybe a month, you're on to the next one. Really, this mindset's all rooted in capitalism and hustle culture that comes along with it. It's trained us to think that we need to achieve things in order to be worthy. And oftentimes, even our parents ingrain that in us, that if we're not getting good grades in school, then we're not going to receive the same love and affection from them. Such a common thing, and it leads to people feeling like crap, because if they're not accomplishing things in school, their parents withhold their emotional connection with their children, which is awful and cruel. And this leads to people thinking that they're only as good as their accomplishments and that their worth is tied to what they do. But what people don't realize is that your worth is inherent. It comes from within you, and it's not dependent on what you achieve. You're worthy just for being a soul on this earth. Again, the same way that babies are worthy. The minute that they're born, they don't have to do anything. It's the exact same way for the rest of us. We don't outgrow that. Society conditions us to think that we outgrow that, but we do not. And yes, absolutely, accomplishments are great, and you should work towards your goals when you're capable of it, but not to the point of burning out. All about balance. And an area of life where I feel like most people are constantly living out of balance with, and society needs to learn to kind of relax, chillax a little bit. I think it's part of the reason why over the past couple years, society, at least in America, has been seeing the quiet quitting movement and the soft life mentality, as people are realizing that this hustle culture is not healthy. So in order to find this balance, you need to learn to listen to your body. Listen to your body when it's asking for a break, and don't wait until you're burnt out. Slow down and take breaks when your body is asking for it without calling yourself lazy. You're not being lazy, you're listening to yourself, you're giving your body self-love and taking care of its needs. In fact, so many people with type A personalities have autoimmune diseases for this very reason. And of course, autoimmune diseases are very complicated. There's many causes, many factors involved. But one very under-discussed factor is burnout, is constantly needing to go, achieve the next thing, and being a type A personality. And this is because their nervous system can't calm down because they're constantly hustling. So a common theme that I've seen in people like this is even when they rest, they are restless. They can't take a bubble bath for 30 minutes without wanting to jump out and move on with the rest of their day. If they lie down to get some rest, they're on their phone answering emails. The amounts of breaks that they take are incredibly short, and they're not really feeling relaxed. They feel the most relaxed when they're constantly going because their nervous system is so amped up. It's like when you're anxious before a big event and can't rest. You're like, I just need to keep myself busy to kind of burn off this energy. They're constantly living in that mode. Their nervous system is constantly going, and so they can't find rest even when they're resting. And so if this is happening to you, if anytime you take a break and you're resting, you notice thoughts come up of worthlessness, of telling yourself that you're lazy, that you're worthless, your life is meaningless if you haven't achieved this goal yet, or if you're not constantly being productive, don't let yourself get wrapped up in those thoughts. Notice the thought and then have self-compassion. Remind yourself that that's just society's capitalistic programming speaking, and it's not true. They just for existing, and you don't have to achieve anything to feel good about yourself. And you find yourself to be the type of person who can't relax without constantly thinking that you're wasting time. One great exercise to do is to journal your limiting beliefs about rest or slowing down or achieving less in your life, putting less on your to-do list. Your limiting beliefs like, if I don't do this, then I'll be lazy. Or if I never pressure myself, then I'll become complacent and never achieve anything. Really get to the root of that belief. Why do you think that? And I'm not saying that it's okay to become complacent, so let's break it down. If you really think about it, if you don't accomplish anything, then you'll be a failure. Okay, why will you be a failure? Your answer might be, because I'll have nothing to show for my life. So then ask yourself, who are you trying to show off to, and why does that matter? Your answer might be, to society, to my friends and family. I care about what they think about me. So then ask yourself, why do you care about what they think? Your answer might be, because I want to be liked. And this is where you flip that limiting belief that you originally found and tell yourself that you're worthy of people caring about you if you don't accomplish that goal in the timeline that you set. So find all your limiting beliefs and maybe play this game of why to get to the root, and write a sort of affirmation that tackles that root, or just in general without playing the game of why. Flip the limiting belief and tell yourself affirmations. Anytime you find those negative thoughts popping up that don't let you rest, then tell yourself, I'm worthy just for existing. People will still care about me even if I don't accomplish much. I'll still be a likable person. My life will still have meaning, etc., etc. And as we've all heard a million times before, life is about the journey, not the destination. You need to rush to accomplish your aspirations if it means that you're not enjoying life in the meantime. Just like when I was working full-time, going to school full-time, I hated my life. It was awful. I had no time to do things I actually wanted to do, but I felt like it was necessary, because that's what made me worthy. But what's the point in feeling worthy if I'm hating my life while doing it? Life goes by way too fast to not enjoy every moment of the journey while we're trying to accomplish our goals. If you're not in the career of your dreams yet, you're still worthy right here and now. After all, a truly successful life isn't measured by your career or your achievements, but by how much peace and happiness you have. And so you still can and will achieve your dreams, but just relax a little. Sit down and allow for the divine timing of your manifestations to come true. Which reminds me of a video that I made about manifestation and how it's not actually about achieving your desire, even though that's sort of advertised as being on the forefront, but it's kind of a gateway to the spiritual lesson of detaching from the outcome and being happy in the present moment, which is what is necessary in order for manifestations to come true. So if you're interested in watching a video all about that topic, it's linked right over here. But until next time, I'm sending you so much love. Bye.